Hey YouTube, this is me, Dan. This is my second vlog, and I'm going to teach you today how to build a survival kit. I got an email from a friend. By the way, you can email me at daniel.4114@yahoo.com, and I'll answer all your questions on whatever you need. So, today is a survival bag. You usually build this when you plan on going somewhere into the woods, into the wilderness, and you don't know how long you're going to take, or you end up getting lost. And this is really important. I always carry mine with me everywhere I go. If you don't believe me, you can ask my ex-girlfriend, and she would always get mad that I would take it everywhere I went. Okay, the first thing you're always going to need to take with you wherever you go is a watch. Very important for a few reasons. First, it helps your morale to know what day it is. Secondly, it tells you the time, and it's always good to know when you're getting close to going to bed, when it should be eating, and it's good to keep your routine going. So it's very important to have a watch with you. You should normally wear it with you, but keeping it with you. There's other ways to tell the time if you need to. The sun, there's a lot of shade tricks you can use to do it. If you know what you're doing, it shouldn't be an issue. The single most important thing is your first aid kit. Whether you're going by yourself or going with friends, you always need to carry one with you. I cannot tell you how effective it is to have one with you. It's like carrying a medic around in your bag. Great idea. So, priority one. The second most important thing is water. This is my water canteen. It's a very good idea to keep one with you at all costs. Very important. And another really important thing you're going to need to take with you is a flashlight. Now, the trick with the flashlight is, because your bag could sit around for a few months, you take the battery out of the back, the last battery out, and you flip it upside down. And that will make sure your flashlight doesn't turn on, and when your flashlight doesn't turn on, your batteries don't die. So it'll keep your batteries going for a while. That's just a little trick that I know of. And then you got to make sure your flashlight works. And my flashlight works. So, just a little tip for all you people planning on building one of these someday is to always have batteries in it that work. So, very good thing to have with you. Second thing I would suggest taking with you is a first aid kit, or not a first aid kit, a sewing kit. Excuse me. Important for anything. Your clothes can rip. It helps mend things. It's got needles and buttons for helping you fix certain things, or setting traps, or whatever. Also comes with thread, which is very helpful. My friend once told me that he used one to sew up a wound on his leg when he was out in the woods. I don't really know if that's a good idea, but I would think in my situation, if I was in his situation, I probably would do the same thing, just to keep it closed and away from infection. Probably not very healthy, and I would recommend going to see a doctor immediately afterwards, but in case of emergency, absolutely necessary, you can actually do that. The second thing to always carry with you is a knife. Now, I always carry this in my bag. Apparently, in the state of California, you're not allowed to have knives bigger than this, and the folding knives actually have to have locking blades. So, I've got a lot of other knives that apparently were illegal to carry here, and I did not know that until just recently. So this is a good tool to have. It comes in handy for anything, from whittling to making things to cutting string to first aid, implementing things, and eating. It's a very good tool to have, and I would recommend it for anyone. Second thing you're going to need in your bag is a magnesium and flint fire starter. Now, this thing is a very handy tool to have, because if you ever needed to start a fire, it's very simple. You would shave some of the magnesium off into the woods and then make a spark. And that spark will help you start a fire, of course, naturally. It was like $7, very cheap, not too expensive, and very handy to have. You could carry a lighter with you to start fires. It's a lot more simple to just use a lighter than it would be to use a magnesium fire starter like that. The only problem is that this can break, it can run out of fluid, and but other than that, it's handy. You can use it. There would be nothing against using using that. Depending on the time it takes for you to get wherever you're going, compass is always a handy thing to have. Now, this one is a military grade one, so I wouldn't, but you don't necessarily have to have something this fancy. You can spend like $5 on one of the cheap ones at any of the sports stores, and all you need is something to point you north, and that way you know which other directions you need to go, and where you can plot courses and find landmarks and help you find your way back to a town or something. It's a very convenient thing to have, and I would recommend always carrying one with you, even if you don't go to the woods. Important thing to have also is a tarp. This keeps the ground from sucking your body heat out. It also keeps the rain off you, and this one in particular has a silver side to flag down helicopters or airplanes or even rescue people that might be looking for you. So I always keep it with me. It also works as a blanket if on those cold days if you absolutely need it to. Another important thing to have is a mess kit. The reason you want to have a mess kit, and I'm sorry this is such a cheap, crappy one, but one of the best reasons for this is not only does it keep your morale, but you always want to boil water before you drink it. And you run out of water, you're going to need to replenish yourself. So I would highly recommend getting one of these and boiling all your water before you drink it again. An umbrella is always a good idea to have. And a lot of people scoff at this, and I even had people that are professional survival guys tell me that an umbrella is stupid to carry with you because it's just extra weight. But the tricky thing about umbrellas are they keep the sun off of you first and foremost. They keep the rain off of you, which is very important. And in worst case scenarios and high stress situations, you can always take this apart and use the rods as tools of some sort, and you can use the actual cloth on it for other things such as keeping rain off, gathering water, so on and so forth. Very good tool to keep with you. So don't let anybody tell you you're an idiot for carrying one. Fish hooks, always a good idea to keep with you. I always keep a pack of fish hooks in my survival bag in case I absolutely need to eat. They will help you catch fish, naturally catch fish, but they'll also help you with snares or other traps you set for animals. And pretty much just, you don't really know what you're going to need fish hooks for until you actually realize you have them and they're useful. But they always catch fish, and fish are really good because you can eat them raw, and they don't carry a lot of bacteria inside them. So good idea. Fish is probably the easiest way to get food in the wilderness and the smartest way to eat. On top of that, fishing wire is always important. Fishing wire, I think, is almost a travesty to call it fishing wire because it's so useful. I can't think of how many things this is good for. Just off the top of my head, snares, or building a tent, snares, tying up your tarp, yeah, just those three things alone, I would carry a spool with me. Really convenient thing to have, very useful. So, small things, just real quick things you're going to need if you want. I would keep my wallet with me, but it's always good to have an ID depending on where you're going. And if you're going somewhere where you can fly out of the country, I would highly recommend keeping a passport on you at all times. Just really good things to have on you, and just some minor things that you're going to want to put in there. A toothbrush, which I would always carry with me everywhere I go because I can't stand my teeth to be gross. A toothbrush and toothpaste, just a good idea to put in there in case you are away from your personal hygiene stuff. Hand sanitizer and chapstick. That was how I would build my kit. It's up to you guys to build whatever you want now, and I highly recommend some feedback on what you guys did to build your bag, or what you think that I should put in my bag to make it better. So thank you. I'm glad you watched this, and hopefully I'll get back to you soon.